What it is, what it do, cyber world. It is your girl, the one and only Ash Brown, and this is the Ashsaiditshow. I appreciate all of the love, all the support, over 1,900 episodes. All this is on account of you guys, so thank you so much for all of your love, all of your support. It's made a huge, huge difference, and because you guys love on me so much, and you send me all of your questions and concerns, and I have such amazing guests that come through, today we are joined by the author of The Vegetarian Reset and the founder, CEO of V8 Well, the wonderful Vasudha. Hey, Vasudha.
Hi, Ash. How are you?
I am great. How are you today?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to be on and chat.
Yes. So, well, first off, I want to say congratulations on this new cookbook that has been blazing its way through. It's getting a lot of great reviews.
Thank you so much.
Definitely.
Thank you. I know. It's like setting a little baby out into the world.
I know.
But it's been wonderful, so thank you.
Yes. So, to get things started, where did the idea for this cookbook come from?
Yeah, so the cookbook is inspired by my own personal health journey. So a couple of years ago, about a year after I had my baby, I had a physical where my doctor told me that my blood sugar was elevated and in the pre-diabetic range. This still came as a shock to me, even though it wasn't, a very serious diagnosis. It was still, I had always considered myself healthy and fit.
Yeah.
And I cooked and ate at home a whole lot. So it was really a revelation to me that how I was eating might not have been the most healthy. And I've been a vegetarian all my life. I grew up in India. And my doctor said to me, minimize your rice and pasta and bread. And I was like, wait a minute, what am I supposed to eat instead? Because this is what I eat for every meal. As a vegetarian, we often kind of fall into this classic trap of constructing our meals around refined grains as opposed to constructing our meals around vegetables. And we're often, as vegetarians or vegans, eating far fewer vegetables than we think we are. And eating a lot of refined rice and maize and wheat. And so that's when I kind of started to research the whole idea of eating whole foods as close to nature as possible, eating lots and lots of vegetables, eating seasonally, eating locally, eating lots of protein. And so I transformed the way that I cook and that I eat. And, the way I felt and the wonders that it did for my health, I just wanted to put something out in the world that could help other people. So that's how the book was born.
Yes. Wow. So if you could approximate, how long did it take you to complete the book?
Well, it took me close to a year to actually finish developing the recipes, the photo shoots, writing every word of the 40,000 words in the book. And then from start to finish, because once I signed a publishing deal, it took 2 years from start to finish for the book to actually come out.
Gotcha. Now, when you were in the development phase and you're figuring out what's going to go in the book and what you need to leave out, how did you decide which recipes to choose?
It was really hard. I did have a very clear vision for the book that I've traveled a fair bit with my husband. I live in New York City, and we love eating out. When we travel, it's all about sampling the local foods. Right. So I knew I wanted it to be this around the world theme. But I also wanted it to reflect my love of eating out. So, which is why if you look at the table of contents, it looks like a restaurant's menu. You have breads, rice, pasta, salad, soup, dessert, So I went about really kind of filling up each of those categories. I thought 75 was a nice round number. Sounded good. And, I should aim for that. I guess I ended up developing a lot more than 75. I would say closer to 100, maybe a little north of 100. And then, I just had to kind of throw out some that didn't make the cut. But it was an excruciating process, just kind of narrowing down which recipes, because, I could probably write just an Indian cookbook of 75 recipes, and then it was hard to kind of just filter out what were the most unique, as well as I think what I realized was most important is that what would people find both easy to make at home, and also what would people find most appealing to eat? Because that was one of my biggest priorities with writing this healthy cookbook, was that healthy food shouldn't feel punishing to eat. Somebody has to look at a picture of my recipes and say, I want to eat that. It doesn't matter if it's healthy or not. And, it's a bonus that it's really healthy. So I think I just kind of went with that as my sort of North Star and ended up with these 75. Yeah. But it was tough.
Wow. So as you were going through this phase and figuring out what to pick, what's going to be in the book, what you had to take out, was your family super helpful in taste testing some of these recipes?
Oh, yes, for sure. So my family, it's my husband and my, as I was writing the book, my daughter was 2 years old, and now she's 3.5. So my husband helped a lot. I think, originally I had a sweet smoothie section in the book, and I was trying to do something really unique, and he came home and told me that it tasted terrible. And so I was like, all right, I don't think I'm going to do sweet smoothies. I'm going to do savory smoothies instead, because I feel like the world has enough regular smoothie inspiration. So I went after some traditional beverages that we drink in India with our meals, like we did refreshing yogurt-based beverages, stuff like that. There are definitely some desserts that my daughter still loves and approved of when I made them the first time. So, and even my parents, who are extremely picky and do not eat low-carb, even approved of some of the Indian recipes that I put in the book. So, there was heavy participation.
Now, I want to make sure that these recipes that are in your book, they're easy for people to follow, correct?
Yeah, I hope so. I wrote them with the intention of, it's actually hard to write a recipe so that somebody else can make it as well as you would. And that was of paramount importance to me. So I really did my best, and I had dozens of recipe testers all over the world who have tested each recipe. And so, I'm hoping most people would find the recipes pretty straightforward.
Okay, cool beans. Now, last but certainly not least, what advice do you have for the next person out there that is considering writing a cookbook, because sometimes that can be a little bit of a daunting task for people, that, especially if they're not in that industry. What advice would you offer to them today?
Yeah, I would say just start the project, write it, develop your recipes, write the book. To be honest, the hardest part about writing a cookbook is actually writing it. Getting those words down on paper to the point where you're okay with them being published and, being kind of a lasting legacy in this world. That part is probably the most excruciating. Recipe development and all of that is, child's play compared to that. So I would say just get started and get feedback. Have your recipes tested. Because that feedback from, just lay people, it could be friends, it could be family, that is invaluable. And, it feels like this insurmountable project at the beginning, because it's just, there's so much to be done. But, you just take one day at a time, and then, kind of zoom out once in 3 months to see how much progress you've made, and then you'll be just fine.
Sounds like the plan. Vasudha, thank you so much for coming through today. We certainly appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me. This was fun.
Yes, and, you have to come back when, I know that you guys got stuff out there cooking, there's some things in the works for you that maybe we couldn't talk about today, but let everyone know where they can find out more about you guys, and also to pick up the cookbook.
For sure. So my website is v8well.com. That's V like vegetarian, 8, the number, WELL.com, where you can sign up for my newsletter. And it's really the best way to keep up to date with me. And I also send out new recipes weekly and other interesting tidbits. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube as V8well, the same handle, V8well. And the book is called The Vegetarian Reset. It's got 75 low-carb vegetarian recipes from all over the world. And you can find it anywhere books are sold, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, your local indie bookstore, or bookshop.org.
Sounds like the plan. Vasudha, thank you so much. Much more success again to you, your whole team, everyone back in this project. I know that there's some more things to come, so we appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And thank you to each and every one of you guys for supporting the movement, which is ashsaidit.com, ashsaidit.com. And keep in mind, anyone to tell you that you can't do what you want to do, you look them square in the face, you tell them, don't believe me, just watch. Watch what I do. Watch me make it happen. Watch me make history. That's what we're doing this for, the history books. Social media is nice, but real life is so much better. Until next time, you guys.